Hey there, singers, public speakers, and content creators. My name is Clay Collins, and this is the My Voice Mentor podcast. Has AI gone too far? Have we crossed the point of no return? I'm sure we all remember all the movies from our childhood where there's this point where the machines take over and they destroy mankind. We've all seen The Terminator. If you're old enough like me to remember shows like Battlestar Galactica, the very creatures that we've created to help us rise up as an army to defeat us. Is that happening, or is it just like it's always been and mankind is always looking for ways to enhance and create things to assist us to do things that would be much more difficult otherwise? Today, I'm of course talking about artificial intelligence, and believe it or not, this actually does affect public speakers, voiceover artists, and singers like myself. It appears that AI is here, at least for the foreseeable future, so we need to unpack this a little bit today and see if it's something that we should fear, or see if it's something that can be a help and a useful tool to us. But before we get into all of that, I want to remind you once again of my 5-day free vocal bootcamp. All you've got to do is go to myvoicementor.com/bootcamp to get started. It's the best way to get connected with me, to help me work you through any challenges you may be facing with your voice. Whether you're a singer, public speaker, content creator, podcaster, really doesn't matter. This is going to help all of you because I really want to help us all become better presenters in what we do. And by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and that bell notification so that you're alerted of new episodes as they come out. Our podcast is released on Apple, Spotify, and those platforms, but now recently as a YouTube podcast as well. So if you prefer to listen and watch, head on over to my YouTube channel. Now I've got my own link. It is youtube.com/@myvoicementor. All right, let's dive right into this. I have always been somewhat, or I would always consider myself to be somewhat of a futurist. So if there's a tool out there, or if there's something that makes my job or my life easier, I'm all about it. But I will be the first to admit that when it comes to art and creativity, I have been, and still to some degree, a little hesitant to employ certain helps. Because now, as a producer, as a recording artist, as a singer, my world in many ways has expanded beyond what I could have ever dreamed or imagined when I was a kid. The things that are available today to your average 15, 16-year-old kid with a computer, I only dreamed about. So on the one hand, it's very exciting. On the other hand, there's a lot of talk and fear out there about AI eventually just taking over all of our jobs. And I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet, but it's at least something to talk about. It almost reminds me of when I went back and read Oscar Wilde's piece on socialism. Now, I'm not a socialist, and if you are a socialist, we don't need to get into that debate, but it is an interesting piece, and it really did enlighten me on socialism and the mindset behind socialism and how actually it was conceived long ago that AI would be a tool to allow some of the more menial tasks to be automated and assisted through technology, because even back then it was viewed that technology would be able to do these things in a sense better than the human mind, allowing the human mind to focus on the more creative, higher level pursuits like art, music, creativity, painting. And here's the deal. You don't have to necessarily be a socialist, which I'm not. I want to be very clear. I'm not that, especially government socialism. But you can at least appreciate the idea that if we had assistance or help with the menial tasks, the things that don't necessarily stretch our brain, but they do occupy our thoughts, so that we can focus on higher level art or creativity or things that allow us to maybe go to a higher level. Perhaps we, in a sense, stand on the shoulders of computers a little bit, allow them to help with some of the more menial tasks that are important, so that we can write and do all these creative things. At least in concept, I can actually see the value there. But then there's the kind of Orwellian view that these machines are going to rise up and take over the world. And there's been numerous science fiction stories that depict this, everything from The Lawnmower Man in the 90s, or Battlestar Galactica, or Caprica. Those shows later released on HBO and streaming platforms. What starts out to be this utopian society where the machines are here to help mankind, but ultimately man treats them like slaves. And then the question of autonomy over machines because they somehow achieve some sort of, all this science fiction stuff. I remember watching Star Trek. And of course, this idea was posed in Star Trek when I was growing up through this character called Data, who was an autonomous, apparently self-aware android. And of course, they had to raise things within the show. Does he have rights? Do we view it as we view every other machine, or does this thing have rights? Well, all of this stuff used to be science fiction, but guess what? It's upon us. There are tools now that radically shift the way we do things. And whether you are pro AI or against it, chances are you're using it without even realizing it. And I would make the argument that AI certainly is nothing new. It has gotten more advanced for sure. But here's the thing. If you've used a calculator, in my opinion, a calculator is a form of AI. You input data, and within a pre-programmed set of parameters put on that AI, it'll spit back 100% accurate results according to what you input in. And we, of course, use calculators all the time because we have forsaken the idea of writing out the math. Before calculators, we used a thing called a slide rule. In fact, that's what they used at the command center, helping the astronauts get to and from the moon, which is bonkers to me. But anyway, again, you're probably thinking, this is all interesting, but how does this affect the singer? Well, we now have AI tools that can assist us pretty much with everything from helping us write and construct an email to designing and writing code for a website to, you might have guessed it, writing music. Yes, AI can even help you write that next hit song. And it begs the question, how many of the songs that we have listened to on the radio in the last couple years or in the last 5 years, how many of those were assisted by AI? Again, AI is really nothing new. I began using artificial intelligence tools to help me become better as a musician, as an engineer. In fact, a lot of the mastering tools that I do to release my music, rather than hiring somebody at hundreds of dollars a pop, I utilize AI technologies to help me get better mixes, help me get better masters. I use AI technology to help me process my vocal in the recording process. Yes, I could do those things myself, but these AI tools help me save hours of time. And when I'm working with clients, every second is money or money lost. Of course, I should use these. Steve Jobs used to categorize the Macintosh, which is what we called it before we called it a Mac, as a bicycle for the mind. That yes, we could do these things, but if you had the option of riding a bicycle versus walking, wouldn't you choose the bicycle that allows you to, yes, pedal, but because of the mechanism in the bicycle, it allows you to go farther? That's how he defined the personal computer. And now, is he wrong? I don't think so. Most of us are able to get so much more accomplished. So here's what we're going to do today. Rather than have the argument of, is this good or is this bad? I don't know. I think we could have that conversation ad nauseum, but it is interesting. But today we're actually going to write a song with the assistance of AI. Yes, we're going to embark on this grand experiment. I'm going to write a song with the assistance of AI. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. This is going to be very interesting. One of the reasons why this might actually be a good idea is all of us, if you're a writer, a script writer or a copywriter for your company, or if you're a songwriter like I sort of try to be, you experience this thing called writer's block. And so I can see where utilizing AI to help get those juices flowing would be a really good thing. Of course, some people are concerned that people are just atrophying those internal skills and allowing that writer's block to allow us to go deeper into our own thoughts and our own mind. And there may be some value to that. But I'm just going to break all the rules and I'm going to just see what AI comes up with us. So here's the deal. We're going to pose a question, and the tool we're going to be using today, apparently, I am late to the game on this, but this thing is amazing. I have used this to help me construct emails, to some of the descriptions for the podcast, right down to some of the awesome titles for the episodes. It's a pretty good tool, and it has allowed me not to spend so much of my time focusing on, yes, the things I'd rather not do. It is pretty cool, and it's been very useful for that, but I have not, until today, used it to help me write a song. In fact, this particular tool, which more and more people are becoming familiar with, it's taking the world by storm. I call it The Empire Strikes Back because apparently the Windows people have developed this. I would have thought for sure Apple would have discovered this, but this is a Windows platform and apparently owned by the same people that created the Bing search engine, have created ChatGPT. Now, if you're not familiar with this, you soon will be, because it's amazing. What's cool about it is it's both very archaic and very next century. It's very, very cool. It reminds me of the movie 2001 with that little talking computer in the spaceship, Dave. And Dave had this really creepy voice. And you could ask Dave questions and you could play chess with Dave and Dave would help you work through problems. But at the end of the day, of course, just like every other AI movie, Dave had to get shut down because he was getting a little too uppity. Well, what ChatGPT basically is, it's a chat. You can chat with a machine learning AI. And what's pretty amazing is if you weren't thinking, you would actually think you're talking to a person, because you're not just searching for something and it spits you results like on a Google or Bing search engine. It's giving you fully fleshed out responses that you would expect a human. And many people, myself included, use it almost like an assistant. If I am needing to do some things that are going to take me a long time to craft an email or make sure that everything is sounding right and I'm using the right words, that can take up your whole afternoon just to come up with a paragraph of text. Well, ChatGPT can do that kind of stuff literally just with a few little prompts from you. But that's the setup. Like I said, I've never used it to write a song until today. So you and I are going to do this in real time. So buckle up. Here we go. So here's what I want to do today. I'm a big fan of Ben Rector, and I've mentioned him on the podcast. I kind of would like to write a song roughly in the style of Ben Rector. So that's my first prompt. I'm going to ask this AI to write for me a song in the style of Ben Rector. All right, let's see how it goes. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the results here. But for those of you who are listening, I'm going to read these lyrics to you, starting with verse 1. I woke up this morning with the sun in my eyes, feeling like a brand new day, feeling so alive. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm excited to see. All the adventures waiting just for me. Now here's the chorus. Life is a journey we'll never know where it will take us, but we'll keep on the go. We'll keep on dreaming, keep on believing. Anything is possible if we just keep on breathing. Okay, we'll go ahead and skip verse 2 in the chorus, but I'm going to go ahead and read the bridge. So hold on tight, let's take this ride. Together we'll conquer, we'll reach the other side. The world is waiting, it's ours to explore. We'll keep on moving, we'll keep on wanting more. And then there's a final chorus. Okay, this is what it's given us. You see my little question at the top that I posed? That's all I gave it. And from there, we have an entire song. Verse, chorus, bridge, and all of these things. Pretty amazing. Now, is it a masterpiece? I don't know. Is it as good as what Ben Rector would write? Probably not. When I compare this to one of my favorite songs, Men Who Drive Me Places, that chorus says, oh, isn't that just the way it goes? You're dealt a good hand and you get celebrated. oh, how am I the only one who knows that I'm half the man than the men who drive me places? Now, that's lyrical brilliance. This, it probably falls short of that, but it's not bad, and at least is in the vein of something that I could see Ben Rector writing. I mean, it's positive. It's looking positively throughout life, so I like the theme. I wonder if there's something that we can do with it. Okay, so let's scroll down to this chorus here. I usually like to start with a chorus when I'm writing, and the first thing that I would want to do is, AI can't help you with this, but I've listened to a lot of Ben Rector music, and he's also a piano player. So one thing that I noticed that he does a lot of syncopated piano rhythms that are very repetitive, something like this. Something like that. So we're going to use that as our rhythm. All right, that's cool. On this chorus, let me just come up with a quick progression, maybe like... So let's take this first line of the chorus. Life is a journey, we'll never know where it will take us, but we'll keep on the go. I like part of that. I like that life is a journey part. Life is a journey, we'll never know. I think I want to change that line, because one of the things that Ben Rector does is puts rhymes in strange places, and so I want to almost replace that first part of the second line with something that'll rhyme with journey. So what if we did instead, life is a journey, we'll never know in the turning. And I don't like, and we'll stay on the go. How about where it wants to go? Like in the turning, where it wants to go. Let's see what that sounds like. Life is a journey, we'll never know in the turning, where it wants to go. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. It sounds kind of like Ben Rector. Let's take a look at this third line. These last two lines are actually pretty decent. I might make some syllable changes to tie it all together and make it fit this melody that I'm hearing in my head. Life is a journey, we'll never know when the turning, where it wants to go. Keep on dreaming, keep on believing, anything's possible if you just keep breathing. You got to do that if you're going to do Ben Rector. You got to hold out a note forever. Breathing, just keep on breathing. We could even do a tag there. So hey, like in a pretty short amount of time, I got a decent chorus going on here. Life is a journey, and we'll never know in the turning, where it wants to go. Keep on dreaming, keep on believing, anything's possible if you just keep dreaming. Keep on breathing. Sorry, I got that word wrong. Hey, not bad. So that's a chorus. Neat. So let's take a look at this verse. So if I'm going to start the chorus on the 4, it would make sense to start the verse on the 1. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da. Something like that is kind of what I'm hearing melodically. And I'm just going to adjust these lyrics on the fly. I woke up this morning with the sunlight in my eyes, feeling like a brand new day, feeling so alive. Hey, it's not bad. It's not a bad verse. And the lyrics at least helped me come up with some melody ideas. And even if I completely adjusted this, it's not half bad. I wouldn't cringe if I heard this on the radio. Okay, so now let's look at this third line. I don't know what the future holds, but I can't wait to see All the adventures just for me. I gotta figure out what to do. All the adventures waiting just for me, waiting just for me. Ooh, what if we did that? All the adventures waiting just for me. Ooh, okay, we're getting close. All the adventures waiting just for me. Ooh, okay, we're getting there. All the adventures waiting just for me. 'Cause life is a journey, and we'll never know when the turning, where it wants to go. Keep on dreaming, keep on believing. Anything's possible if you just keep breathing. Keep on dreaming. I'm digging it. Okay, so we got a verse and a chorus. Okay, let's look at this bridge. Maybe we can start that on it too. So hold on tight. Hold on tight. Let's take this ride. So hold on tight. So hold on tight. Let's take this ride. Together we'll see the other side. The other side. 'Cause life is a journey, we'll never know in the turning, where it wants to go. That's definitely something Ben would do, is change the melody on that last chord. Keep on dreaming, keep on believing. Anything's possible if we just keep breathing. Keep on breathing. Keep on breathing. So what do you think? Does that pass as a song? Did I cheat? Did I defy all of the artistry? Or did I just use a tool to help me get the juices flowing? I honestly don't know. I need you to tell me. Feel free to write me at clay@myvoicementor.com. Feel free, and by all means, chat and comment on the YouTube link. I'm just curious of what you think. Have you thought of maybe there's some ways I could use this in ways I haven't imagined? Is it something that you're going to stay away from? One way or another, something we should all think about. But I tell you what, to give you my final thoughts, I really think ultimately how we use these tools determines what we're going to get out of it. If we let the machine do the work that was really intended for us, then I think we're going to have some problems. But one thing that I can't ignore is the fact that that song, whether it was terrible or whether it was decent or whether it was great, would not have gotten written had I not taken the step to ask the AI to help me write a song. And as a result, in a weird sense, I was collaborating with technology. Now, is that weird? I think it's a little weird, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm probably going to do it again. And who knows, maybe I'll release this song and put it in the show notes for you to listen. I would really love to hear your opinion. Again, my email is clay@myvoicementor.com. Find me on YouTube at youtube.com/@myvoicementor. I hope I've given you some things to think about, and hopefully maybe given you some tools to help you in your writing, or at least help you know what to stay away from. Until next time, keep investing in your voice. It's worth it.